transform Guyana into the education nation the President envisions, the root causes of the deficiencies in the education sector must be addressed. Chief among the critical areas to be addressed are teacher education and training, and of course, if Guyana is to catch up with the rest of the world, access to information communication technology. This week on part 2 of the Education Nation, we take a look at government's plans to improve the country's educational landscape. An investment in a corps of qualified teachers who have specialized training to meet the needs of all of Guyana's children, regardless of ethnicity, geographic location, or other socio-economic factors, will be the driver of a more educated workforce, graduating young adults who are equipped to meet the challenge of harnessing the country's resources to bring about economic prosperity. With this in mind, the head of state is intent on better equipping the Cyril Potter College of Education, CPC, to ensure that a full cadre of adequately qualified teachers graduate each year. CPC provides initial formal teacher training in education. Some of the programs offered include a 1-year Associate Degree in Education and a 2-year Associate Degree in Education ADE programs, the Trained Teacher Certificate Program, and the Teacher Upgrading Program. Speaking to the graduating class of 2016 at CPC's 82nd graduation ceremony at the National Cultural Center in December 2016, the President said that as Guyana advances its green agenda, teachers must be able to train a generation of professionals who are able to develop the nation's resources and take advantage of opportunities that will become available. The head of state said that teachers must be more than tutors. They must be agents of socialization, implanting knowledge, imparting values, and infusing the right attitude in their students. Teachers, through training, President Granger said, must be exposed to modern teaching skills so that they can be effective in transmitting knowledge to and in building character in students.
The untrained teacher has no place in the future of the educational system in Guyana. And as I've done before, I like to use the analogy of flying an airplane. No one would go into an airplane piloted by an untrained pilot. So why should anyone allow their children to be taught by an untrained teacher? We're looking for total training, not 50 or 60 or 70%. Every teacher must be trained. Trained teachers are essential to halting the decline in educational standards.
The head of state sees teacher education as a commitment to lifelong learning. Beyond CPC, President Granger has outlined a policy which will ensure university-level qualified teachers in schools across the country.
And we hope that over the next 15 years, between 2015 and 2030, during the SDGs, our teachers will all get the opportunity to be exposed to tertiary education.
Minister of Education, Ms. Nicolette Henry, noted that a policy decision in this regard would only yield positive results. From a technical perspective, she believes that there is value in having academic degrees as CPCE prepares teachers for delivery. On July 26, 2017, President Granger, accompanied by Minister Henry, met with students and staff of the CPCE as he continues his outreach to educational institutions in what he calls fact-finding missions to hear from the administrators and beneficiaries directly, even as government zeroes in on modernizing and reforming the educational sector. The forum was highly interactive as it allowed for both staff and students of the institution to speak freely on issues that are affecting them. The head of state explained to students and instructors at the college that his administration recognizes the importance of these consultations and acknowledges that much more needs to be done to ensure that the CPCE is better equipped to effectively train the nation's teachers, but the input of qualified stakeholders in the reform process is needed. The student teachers raised concerns relating to the unavailability of staff, which resulted in first and second semester courses being completed in the fourth, fifth, and sixth semesters and increasing the workload.
That caused us a lot of inconvenience because we would be leaving here at 6 after 6 in the afternoon Then we only have Saturday and Sunday. We have to prepare. We have housework to do, assignments to do. Prepare for teacher practice again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we know primary is a lot.
There were calls for the stipend to be increased annually, adequate accommodation in the science laboratories, a more structured curriculum, and better accommodation and meals for the CPCE students.
You don't have to put a lot of strain on the budget. Raise it gradually every year, because every year the cost of living is going up.
The technology laboratory does not facilitate the number of students, especially in the early childhood and the primary classes.
After we have spent close to a year in the schools, we have tested the students, given assessments, etc., even submitted grades for these students for their end of term percentage. And then in the 6th semester, we are launched into a course where we are then taught how to correctly assess students.
President Granger assured the student teachers that all the issues have been taken seriously and provisions will be made in the next fiscal year for these matters to be adequately addressed, noting that the ministry is committed to improving the college within the limits of its resources.
To make sure that you are not overloaded, that you have the tools, the instruments, the resources to do your work. We look again at the stipends, we look at the other complaints you've made, sanitation, the surroundings, and of course the toilets and the water and so on. At the institutional level, to make sure that the college itself has the physical infrastructure to enable you to do your work.
In the hinterland, Minister Henry said that a special teacher training program will be implemented, which will include the upgrading of learning resource centers and the alignment of teachers' learning resources to improve student outcomes.
Speaks to improving the quality of teachers' education in the hinterland, which will see us develop continuous professional development programs geared at addressing teachers' weakness and tailored to incorporate teaching in multi-grade settings. There is also provision of training and coaching in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and literacy for teachers.
The government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Public Telecommunications, and the National Data Management Agency, has embarked on an ambitious plan to ensure that information communication technology forms a central part of education delivery in the classroom, and that more students and teachers have access to the World Wide Web. The National Information and Communication Technology Strategy is intended to provide the framework to guide the development of the ICT sector, and a key component of it will ensure a greater presence of ICT in the classroom. Part of its outcome objectives is focused on the development of smart classrooms and e-libraries for distance education and e-learning. But for e-learning to be possible, teachers themselves must be comfortable with ICT and must have access to computers and other such devices if they are to lead the way towards a smarter classroom. President Granger wants to ensure that teachers across the country have access to computers. The One Laptop Per Teacher OLPT initiative forms part of the larger Improving Digital Equity Access and Learning IDEAL program that also includes connectivity to the Internet for schools. The IDEAL program was launched in September 2016 by President Granger as the beginning of a process of ICT transformation throughout the education system. Thus far, 8,944 laptops, which are pre-programmed with the necessary teaching syllabus and material, have been distributed to teachers across the country.
The world has entered the information age. Information and information technology and innovation are transforming every facet of human existence. ICT is revolutionizing education. It is transforming the manner in which information is assembled, organized, and disseminated. It is changing the way education is delivered in the classroom. And much of what is taking place has been inspired by my own interaction with the citizens in all of the regions of this country.
The ICT unit of the Ministry of Education reported that it has successfully trained 5,500 teachers in basic computer literacy. Additionally, 180 secondary school teachers are competent to deliver the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC ICT syllabi. Additionally, 150 primary schools have been trained in the use of low-cost technology. A total of 95 secondary schools have been connected to the e-government network. The e-government program increases governments and the country's capability to make internet connectivity available to all citizens in the city, other parts of the coastland and hinterland communities. The e-government agency's secondary schools internet connectivity project helps to achieve the goal of greater ICT in schools. To date, over 100 educational institutions in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 have been connected to the e-government network and provided with internet access. Plans to extend this network to communities in the hinterland have begun and are expected to be executed this year. The connectivity program is another testimony of the government's push for the implementation of STEM, which President Granger has said should be embedded in all levels of the school's curricula. The president, speaking during the Berbice High School's centenary celebrations in September 2016, stressed that an education founded in the sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM subjects, is key to innovation and transformation of the economy.
Education in the sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics, what is now called STEM, S-T-E-M, is the key to innovation and transformation. Guyana's capacity to compete in global markets will rely on our ability to innovate. Innovation requires that greater emphasis be placed on education, particularly STEM education. The greatest innovation in the global economy is in the scientific and information technology fields.
The STEM initiative, which is being implemented in schools all across Guyana, runs parallel to the President's National Endowment for Science and Technology NEST program. The program has its genesis in the presentation of $1 million checks to several schools in 2016, including the Berbice High School, Queen's College, and President's College, to improve computer and science laboratories as part of the head of state's push to promote STEM education through investment. In June 2017, $1 million checks were presented to 13 secondary schools under NEST. The schools included Queen's College, Bishop's High, St. Rose's High, St. Joseph High, and the St. Stanislaus College from Georgetown. The Anna Regina Multilateral from the Pomeroon Supernam Region, Region 2, Zeeburg Secondary, and the Saraswati Vidya Nikatan SVN Hindu School on the west coast of Demerara, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara Region, Region 3. President's College on the east coast of Demerara, Rosignol Secondary West Coast Berbice, and the Berbice High East Berbice Quarantine Region, Region 5, 3 Mile Secondary in Bartica, Cayuni Mazaruni Region, Region 7, and the Mackenzie High School in Linden, Upper Demerara, Upper Berbice Region, Region 10. Headmistress of the Zeeburg Secondary, Ms. Benita Blair, said that the initiative will result in enhanced learning among the students, as well as improved results at the CSEC level across the board.
I mean, there are a lot of stuff online and so on, right? And teachers can go there and download items as relate to their subject areas, and they can use them in the classroom. And at present, well, we recently got a new building, and we have whiteboards. So teachers have been requesting projectors, not just in the maths and science area, all the other areas. So I think that will improve teaching in general.
Head teacher of Queen's College, Ms. Jackie Ralph, said that particular attention is paid to science and technology, since the school's administration also recognized that Guyana cannot move forward without their inclusion.
We believe that we must set the trends. So we have been creating an environment where our students are exposed to the highest level of science education and technology. To further enhance those two departments, we've also established about a year ago the SciTech Club. So some of the money will also be going towards the SciTech Club so that our students could start building their own computers.
Head teacher of the Anna Regina Multilateral School, Mr. Laljit Ruplal, expressed his gratitude to the government of Guyana, which he said will go a far way in boosting the school's laboratories.
We have the chemistry, physics, biology lab, and we have 2 IT labs as well. So this can even strengthen these labs and can enhance performance significantly, which we're hoping for.
The focus on STEM education, though in its early phases, is beginning to bear fruit according to Minister Henry. Students are now exposed to hands-on interactive experiences in the classrooms, enabling them to better relate to the new areas of knowledge.
One of the greatest benefits, I believe, of the STEM education is the ability to promote critical thinking, both in and out of the classroom. We have witnessed the use of microscience kits that certainly would have proven useful in the teaching of science in our schools. And these kits augment and in some cases provide alternatives to science labs that are not found in primary schools. Through this, students now have the opportunity to work individually or in small groups on various practicals that are not only mandated by CSEC, but which help students develop investigative skills and competencies.
The minister said that students at the CSEC level have shown improvement in their experimental abilities and have achieved better grades in various subject areas. This year, Guyana performed exceptionally well at the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE, securing 100% pass rates, grades 1 to 5, in 30 units, including Computer Science Unit 1, Information Technology Units 1 and 2, Applied Mathematics Unit 2, Animation and Gaming Units 1 and 2, and Digital Media Units 1 and 2. The country also secured an overall percent pass rate of 92 at the examination. Overseas-based Guyanese Miss Karen Abrams brought a robotics camp to Guyana in August 2016, and since then, robotics clubs have been established all across Guyana. Through the Office of the First Lady, strong focus is placed on training programs, particularly in the area of ICT in various communities, including Buxton Friendship and Lusignan, which are being run parallel to the President's NEST program. First Lady Mrs. Sandra Granger, speaking at Guyana's first STEM robotics exhibition in June 2017, emphasized the importance of an advanced ICT system if the country is to be on par with international best practices.
Computer science and technology are going to be where the jobs will be. As a matter of fact, it is predicted that 75% of jobs in the future will be in computer science. So if the children and young people of Guyana do not cotton on to that idea, while also becoming literate and numerate, we are going to be in a society that is always catching up and not quite getting there.
Events of this nature, the First Lady said, are aimed at unleashing the creative potential of Guyana's youth in the use of science and technology for the development of their communities and the country in a global digitized era. The success of the STEM Guyana team at the 2017 First Global Challenge is testimony of the value of these kinds of investments by government and the private sector for the development of STEM education. The team placed 10th out of 165 competing countries. But STEM education is not just for the secondary level. The 50 million Youth Innovation Fund that was introduced in the 2017 national budget caters to young people who wish to advance their creative ideas in the field of science and technology. The program, which focuses on both in and out of school youth, is in keeping with the government's green agenda and will focus on solutions for the reduction of fossil fuel usage and the STEM program. Under YIF, young people across Guyana can begin to tap into their creative abilities with the use of modern technology to explore how they can contribute to the development of green technology and the increased use of clean energy. The in-school component is aimed at raising awareness among primary and secondary level students by having them participate in competitive activities that will challenge them to create solutions to address global challenges while utilizing STEM subjects. Out-of-school youths will be required to submit proposals of projects which they believe can benefit their communities or schools. These proposals will then be reviewed, and those that meet the criteria will be selected by a panel from the Ministry of Education, Department of Culture, Youth and Sport. The YIF will be accessible across all the regions, with ministry officials stationed in each region to assist the participants with the proposals. Join us next week for part 3 of this episode of Government in Action as we focus our attention on what is being done at the nursery to tertiary education levels, improvements at the post-secondary institutions across Guyana, and strides being made in the area of technical, vocational and education training. I am Stacey Carmichael. Goodbye.